So we don't get to sing a song or something while you know, people are waiting.
No songs. Oh, geez. Anyways, thank you very much for coming out. This is great.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation.
No, we just had a really good session. Let's see now. Are we just a second? Let's see if we're streaming it. Okay, it'll start at 11 o'clock. We just had a very interesting session from both the Privacy Commissioner and then the European Union. So up there we go. We're live.
Probably there is a little bit of delay between what we say and what is on the platform live, but
okay, well,
that shouldn't be a problem. It should not affect us, basically.
Okay, we are now live, and I'd like to welcome Dr. Guy-Vincent Jourdan and Dr. Onut to give a presentation on a joint academic industry effort initiative in the cyber field. Guy-Vincent is, he's basically working in the electrical engineering department at the Université d'Ottawa, and he's co-director of the University of Ottawa Cyber Range that they're doing in conjunction with IBM. He's director of the U Ottawa Cybersecurity Micro Program, and he basically works in the School of Information Technology and Engineering. He received this PhD from Université de Rennes in France in distributed systems analysis. Dr. Onut is absolutely passionate. He's with IBM, and he's had a long and involved career. He's basically managed more than 150 research projects in 35 universities, led by over 90 professors and 360 students, and over 330 IBM staff. The heads make me spin there. So he's long experience in that, and he specializes in cybersecurity and cybercrime. He's right now co-director of the IBM's University of Ottawa IBM Cyber Range. He's adjunct professor. He's senior manager R&D strategy at IBM Canada and IBM master inventor at IBM Security. He completed his PhD at the Faculty of Computer Science, University of New Brunswick, and he specializes in network and application security. So without further ado, I would like to turn it over to Guy-Vincent and Theo, and I look forward to your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob, and welcome everyone. So our session today is titled Effective Academic and Industry Relationships. This is perhaps a little bit ambitious, the S at relationships. So I think what we are going to talk about is our own relationship, the way the University of Ottawa and IBM have collaborated together to create this new initiative. Hopefully this is of interest to the audience. Oops, I need to, all right. So as Bob said, I am Guy-Vincent Jourdan. I am a professor at the Faculty of Engineering at the University of Ottawa. And I am also now the co-director of the Cyber Range, which is the initiative we're going to talk about today. And Theo?
Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Theo Onut, and I am the other co-director for the University of Ottawa IBM Cyber Range. I also am a full-time IBM employee, and my role in IBM is being a senior manager, managing the research and development projects that we have across Canada.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so let's start with a little bit of background here. What are we talking about? This is about cybersecurity, research, and training. Why is it timely? Why is it important? So I don't assume that everyone has a background here. So the company Fortinet has recently done a survey of 1,200 leaders from organizations around the world. And the overall conclusions of that survey, they were able to bring up 5 points that seem to be common everywhere. And the first of all those 5 points is that cybersecurity is a problem for everyone. It's not an IT thing. It's not a internet company saying. It's everyone. Everyone has issues and faces cybersecurity challenges and needs to address that. As a consequence, I guess, of the fact that it is hitting everyone, well, recruitment, retention of skilled individual is a huge problem. There is a tremendous gap between the needs in terms of people in this sphere and what we're able to provide. There is a huge gap between what people know and what people need to know. So this is across the board, and we certainly hear about that all the time at the university. We have a lineup of industries coming to us asking for students, and we don't have. I mean, we have students, but we don't have nearly enough to satisfy the demand here. Across the board, also the companies are looking for people that have skills that are certified. You know, everyone is claiming to be a security expert, but just because of the opportunities that are coming along with such a claim. But of course, most people don't know much at all about cybersecurity. So from the point of view of the organization, they are looking for people who have some proof that they know what they are talking about. So that's the third point here. The fourth point is diversity. It's a problem that not only do you have very few people that are aligned in this field, but the people that are there tend to really look alike, think alike, act alike, and that's a problem. So everyone is trying to diversify, trying to be more inclusive, and well, trying, but not necessarily succeeding so far. And for those people, so the fifth point, the last point of that research is that for those people who are in the workforce but are not directly involved with securing something, the awareness of what are the risks and how the people should behave, this awareness is still problematic. Today, people still cling on links that they receive. They still have unpatched systems. They still have all these problems. So the awareness of the workforce is also a problem. Okay, so these are the 5 takeaways from this worldwide analysis. Well, in general, cybersecurity is big. We don't have enough people working on it. People are not trained enough. We don't have enough of a lead against the people who are attacking us. And so we need to do something. And as a university, we are very well positioned for addressing these kind of things, but we don't like to do it. We don't want, we cannot, we should not do it in isolation. So we need to partner with industries like IBM, who brings important information to us and important means, important focus. All right. So
talking about the from an industry perspective. Why do we care? It's because the cost of the data breach is significant. It's because at companies, according to an IBM report, we release this report every year at the end of the year. So the latest one is the 2021 report about that data. So according to our findings, there is almost 1 year for a company to identify that they have been breached and contain contain the data breach. That is significant. The other thing that is significant is that global average cost of a data breach in 2021, it's 4.2 million, and that is in US. And if you are wondering, since we're presenting from Canada, if you are wondering where Canada stays in that ranking, in Canada it's 5.4 million in 2021 and 4.5 million in 2020. Loss for one. So these can crumble an organization. If it's a small organizations, a startup, SME, they can be out of jobs after one of these data breach. We also see a 10% year-to-year increase of this, and according to most cybersecurity experts, that the total annual cost of the cyber crime for the global economy is 1 trillion, which again it's significant. Not to mention that after a data breach, the stock market for a particular company, 7 days into it, drops by 10-12%, which again it's a big impact on the revenue and reputation.
All right, so now that the scene is set, so cyber security is a big issue, and as a university, there is something we can do about it. So we have made that one of our priority at the University of Ottawa. So cybersecurity, cyber safety is on the radar of the administration, and we are investing into the topic. We are doing that by creating what we have called the Cyber Hub, or Cyber Carrefour in French. So the idea here is to have one umbrella hub where everyone at the university who is involved in something related to cybersecurity as a whole. So this is for now about 40 professors from 7 different faculties that are involved in the Cyber Hub. It's something that it's for us a place to do research, to do outreach, to do training, and we try to, our goal is to have something that is not purely engineering or purely computer science. So that's why we have people from engineering, of course, but from business, from law, from social science. So we're trying to get as many different perspectives as possible into that particular problem. So the hub that we are building right now is in the STEM building. So that's the new building that I think we opened it in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. And on the very fancy, nice building that we have on campus. And on the 5th floor of this building now is where the hub is or is going to be. That's where the yellow line is here. So that's the cybersecurity hub in the STEM building. The STEM building is run by Faculty of Science and the Faculty of Engineering, but the hub, as I said, is cross-faculty here. Now, I am with the Faculty of Engineering, so just to give you a sense of what it is we do there at the Faculty of Engineering, we have over 6,500 students, close to 7,000 actually students between grad and undergrad. But half of them, 3,500, are in IT or electrical engineering, computer science type of programs. So that's a lot of people that are going through training in something that is relevant to the problem we're talking about here. And we have also overall 130 full-time professors there, and also half of them more or less are in IT. In terms of a breakdown of these 3,500 that are in the School of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, we have 2,500 undergrad, 1,000 grad students there. So that's masters and PhDs. And in terms of Canadian versus international, we have about 2,000 Canadian for 1,500 international students. So we have quite a workforce that we are trying to train here and that we are training, but that we are trying to attract towards filling that gap in cybersecurity with this initiative here. All right, so that's us.
So talking about, so having said that, the question was, how do we close the skill gap? And this question is not a new question. Everybody has it. And the concept of a training center that specializes in cybersecurity, it's not a new concept either. But what IBM saw through our operations, so we have around 12 global and regional security operation centers, and we see a lot of events, as well as we represent a lot of clients for their security incident response. So basically, if they have an incident, our IBM team will come in and will work with them in order to mitigate it. And what we saw is that there are many companies that struggle with coping with a cybersecurity attack. And the concept of a cyber range is not a new concept. It's been since the 1960s. But those type of cyber ranges, they are mostly they were used in Army for different type of operational activities that were very targeted and never focused on cybersecurity from the, actually they were focused on cybersecurity, but from the private sector point of view. So from companies' point of view, we haven't seen cyber ranges that were operating in the cybersecurity space that would train the companies. And then and that's the journey that IBM began when we started creating our first cyber range in Cambridge, US, and then followed by a second cyber range, which was a mobile one, is a mobile one in Europe, followed by a third one, which is which we just launched in Bangalore, India. And the purpose of these cyber ranges is training, training for industry on how to handle incidents as a group, as a company, not just from a technical perspective, but also from a business perspective. We do a lot of research as part of those sites that we operate, as well as part of our cyber ranges. In IBM, we had more than 10,000 clients going through these exercises. And I guess the next natural step was for us to find a partner that it can bring the academic rigor into the training. And hence we start talking with the University of Ottawa. It's a long story. I think we're going to get to it at one point. But it takes a lot of time to build these things, these type of relations. But since we had it with the university, we thought that we will be able to basically bring the two sides together. So in partnership, to create a cyber hub for security, where you have all the expertise that exist at the University of Ottawa, as well as all the expertise that exists at IBM, in order to create a range. Excuse me for a second. Sorry, we are in a meeting. Is it possible to come later on to do this? Thank you so much. We are at IBM, it's the catering team, but it's creating a lot of noise in the background. Sorry about that. Basically, that was the journey that we embarked on. And I think we are talking a cyber range that is in partnership, run by the University of Ottawa and IBM, and brings the best out of the two worlds.
That's right. So we thought it would be interesting to maybe talk about the steps that we took to reach there, because it looks as though this was something that was done last year. It's not. So here we're going to talk about the collaboration that has occurred between IBM, but specifically with VIO and VIO's division in IBM, and with the faculty of engineering and my team. With my team. All right. So it started in 2009. In 2009, we started to have our first research collaboration with IBM. It was about modeling rich internet application for security. And that was the 3-year research project that was funded by IBM. At the time, IBM put $86,000 cash for that research. And that's how it started. And we got some matching funds from NSERC at the time. So we had this initial project in 2009, so it's a long time ago. And after that, we got another project that started in 2011. So before the first one even finished, we had the second one in parallel. It was about distributed crawling and security assessment for rich internet applications. So at the time, we were really working in rich internet applications, and that was basically our way into IBM security, ability to do research in that space. So for that second project, IBM put more money on the table, a little bit over $100,000 Canadian for that research here. Then in 2012, we started a third project, still with IBM CAS, still on rich internet application, and again IBM did put $102,000 on the table, and so in both cases we were also able to get much funding from NSERC. So after the 3 projects finished, we had the fourth project where we started to migrate a little bit from rich internet application. I mean, it's still in the title, but we started to look at access logs and move into a little bit of a different segment in the security area. And there was another $100,000 and some that IBM did put on the team to do this research. And finally, in 2018, we had a fifth project that was funded by IBM. And this time it was not a question of horizontal application anymore. It was a much more ambitious project, cyber attacks, countermeasure, and preventions. So it was something that was going much deeper inside IBM security worldwide in terms of finance commitment from IBM. The increase was significant. It went from about 34,000 Canadian a year to 100,000 a year and US dollars. So we get a double bonus here. We are leaving our Canadian beaver box on the side. We are starting to talk about real money, and we have a much larger amount. It is significant in a couple of ways. Well, for one thing, it's more money, so that's great. The fact that it's paid in US dollars now is it's just a side effect of the impact that the research has within IBM. Now we are leaving just the confine of Canada research, and we are into US, but really worldwide. And so we have slowly but surely, I don't know how to say that, but we have been inside IBM more and more. Our research has had an impact. It has been recognized. Our invention made it into products, into services. We started to talk about. We started to talk to IBM team across the world on a very regular basis. And I mean, by that, I mean, we have people from Taiwan, we have people from Japan, from Ireland, from Germany, from Israel, from the US, from, I don't even remember where. But so all these people are people who are aware of what we do, and we are aware of what they do. It has led to, so far, 37 scientific publications and 13 disclosure, so that's patents, that have been filed so far in that collaboration. So that's a long lasting impact. It took a long time to go there, and it has always been increasing along the way. We wouldn't be here if we hadn't walked that path since, well, what is that, 13 years, 14 years ago.
If I may add, Guy, if IBM publishes every year threat index, IBM Security X-Force, if it's free, it's a free document. It depicts the landscape of threat intelligence. And if you look at the last issue, last page, you'll see Guy and I as being contributors there. That contribution is part of the research that is being done at the University of Ottawa in collaboration with IBM. So it's yet another testimony that there is an impact on this research, and because of that impact on the research, we could talk about other things, such as the cyber age.
That's right. So all of that has led to new initiatives that were maybe a little bit larger than just us here. So the first one was in December of 2019, where there was what we have called already a cybersecurity hub. That was the first initiative to a joint lab between IBM Canada and the University of Ottawa. That was the first official step in something larger between our organization. And then in October of last year, we had the announcement that we were building a cyber range together. And by together, we mean that it's being built and it's going to be used by the University of Ottawa, of course, that's where it is, it's going to be used by IBM, and we're going to use it together for our research and our joint projects. And when that was announced, the numbers that were thrown around were, $21 million from IBM in cash and in kind, and an investment of $7 million from the University of Ottawa.
So now you jump from 100,000 US per year to millions of dollars per year.
That's right.
But you would never sell that to anyone if it wasn't the previous collaboration or previous impact.
That's right. So so what is that cyber range thing that we keep talking about? Why do we want that as a university? So that's our description of the cyber range, which, by the way, we are still building. So there is work ongoing in the STEM building right now. So, but we want to use it for teaching, for learning. We want to use it to do training for people who are in the workforce already. We want to use it for research, and we want to use it for outreach to try to bring more people and more diversity into the field. Right.
So when we talk about the cyber range, we talk about an immersive experience that addresses not just the IT. When a security breach happens, it's not just an IT problem. It's actually the entire organization problem. And he mentioned that we have different faculties as part of this initiative. Why? Because the law students, they need to know what to do in the case of a cyber attack. The communication students, they need to know how to respond, because otherwise the stock market is going to go down for that company. The HR needs to know how to respond. Finance needs to know how to respond, because maybe there is a ransomware and there is a question: do we pay the ransomware or not? And those are not technical questions, but those are questions that need to be answered absolutely in order to get out of a security incident. Plus all the technical side, which you need to have a technical team that is very strong, and they need to know what they are doing. So when we look at this facility, we look from all aspects of it. Media students, they need to be trained to interview people, as well as business students. They need to know how to respond to those questions. And so we have the cyber range, which you see there on the left hand side, and but in addition to the cyber range, we have, for instance, a media room where we conduct interviews as part of our exercises. Of course, we have the server room, which you see here, rendering of it. As Guy was mentioning, we are still building the site. But this is the latest rendering we got from the vendor. And what is interesting is, in addition to this, what the university thought of is to bring the University of Ottawa SOC, so their operations center, into the same place, so that the guys that are hired by the university to do this day in, day out, they are also in the same place where we do training for students, when we do training in partnership for industry, and so on and so forth. And so indeed, it's the cyber range is is part of the cyber hub of all these initiatives that Guy was mentioning about. And the purpose is to provide training for students from all type of backgrounds, so that they can go through and be successful when they get hired, as well as training to the industry, to our partners, and to public and private sector. This is the latest rendering of the chairs, how the chairs and the tables are gonna look like. I want to mention here that we have a range in Cambridge and we have a range in Bangalore, And the University of Ottawa range was done in partnership with the University of Ottawa, but is per our joint specs in that what we build at University of Ottawa is not going to be, is going to be the state of the art, is going to replicate what we have to the, tiniest detail, which is the tables in this case, which are exactly the same specs that we use in the other ranges. The picture you have here is coming from our cyber range in Cambridge. The University of Ottawa cyber range is going to look exactly like this one, but in mirror, in that one of these walls, screen walls, will be on the left-hand side instead of the right-hand side. But other than that, everything is gonna be look and feel the same. And this is, as I was mentioning, a rendering of the server room, which we'll have. And if we want to look at the floor plan, this is, just showing the different components that the cyber range has in the floor plan, so that you can see it's something tangible rather than something that is we are thinking of. It's actively being under construction.
Right. So now to talk a little bit about what it is we want to do in the range as a university. We have, as I said, we have identified 4 different goals for the range: learning, training, research, and community building. So we have this place, we have the hub, inside we have the range, we have different rooms there already, and we're going to do all of that. So let's just dive a little bit into each of those 4 points, so you see what we want to do here. So training, that's our course. We have our course. We already have several courses in security, of course, at the University of Ottawa. As Bob mentioned, we even have a micro program in cybersecurity already. We will include exercises inside the range for our own academic courses. So our academic program, be it undergrad or grad, be it the Faculty of Engineering, faculty social science, management, they will be able to use the range to do immersive training on cybersecurity. So exercises and other scenarios are going to be included as part of the course. We will also open up this training for professional development. So reskilling of people who are not our students, but would like to take our academic courses. So we will include that as part of micro programs, as part of micro credentials. So people who are not interested in the full program, they don't want to invest that much at the time, at least in training, but they want to go through some introduction or some topping of their knowledge in the field. So we'll have all of that. One of the things that we want to do, that we are already starting to doing here, is we want to couple these university trainings. So those are normal course. You get your 3 credits from the Faculty of Engineering if it's our course. If you take that course, and then it applies to your degree if you happen to have a degree. If you don't, well, you still have your credits. But at the same time, we want to couple up many of these training with industry certifications. So we are talking about something like the network security expert certification from Fortinet. We are talking about the CompTIA type of certification, but obviously we're also talking about certification with IBM. So we will actually, in this case, we will develop industry certification that are going to be perhaps co-branded. We are not too sure about the details, but what is important is that people graduating from courses inside our cyber hub, inside our cyber range, they should have an access to these professional certifications. So we already have that with NSC 4. So if you take our network security courses, you get your 3 credits. but you also get a voucher to write the NSE4 professional certification from Fortinet for free. And so that's we believe that this is an attractive proposition for our students, and even more for people who are only interested in coming from outside and take a course or two to get this kind of recognized certification. It's to respond to the demand of the market for this kind of certified skilled professional. Then if you are, that's our course, and that's our students. If you are a company and you would like to go through training in the cyber range, we are, and I mean, of course, you can just send your workforce through our courses, and then there is nothing to do. You just send people there. But maybe you have specific needs. Maybe you would like some particular course. So it's what we call tailored training here, where you will have access to our experts, and we will define a training for your workforce. It could be either for a company that has a lot of people to train, it could be for the government who has a lot of employees to train, or it could be for a company who would like to design training on its own product. So all of that is on the table, and all that is going to be possible here. In terms of type of training, we'll have some very technical training. We have, in terms of the technology that is supporting that, we have access to the C.T.O platform from RIA Group, in addition to all the technology from IBM. So we'll go from very technical training to a more C-suite type of simulation, awareness type of training. So cyber security response, which is a bit unique to IBM's portfolio here. And we can go, if there is a good reason for that, we can actually go even a step further and recreate the environment of a particular company, so that training is done on a simulated, safe environment that resembles what it is the company is running on a daily basis. So that's our training part. We have research, and we want to use that as a stepping stone. So the cyber range supports the cyber hub, and we want to use that as a stepping stone to transform the University of Ottawa into even more of a key national cyber research infrastructure. We have research expertise in many different areas of cybersecurity. We do a lot of artificial intelligence. We do research in software and firmware and machine learning. We have crypto. We have Internet of Things. We have, of course, network. So a lot of, and cybercrime, of course, that's us. So we have a lot of work that is done there, and this is going to be supported by the cyber range, and that is unique. So if you hear about colleges and universities that say they have a cyber range, what they have usually is the C.T.O platform that I was talking about. They may not have the C.T.O platform. There was something like that, which is basically a software that is available to the student in their lab. But what we have is a location. What we have is a lot more than just that one platform. And what we have is this ambition to conduct research in this environment. So we are definitely unique in that respect, not only in Canada, but I think in the world. trying to do that to that extent. And last but not least, of course, we want to use this environment that we have, the range, the collaboration with universities such as with companies such as IBM, to try to build that community that we need. So one of the things that we are going to do is run conferences. So we have a couple of conferences, scientific conferences that are lined up already, that are going to happen inside the range or inside that building. At least the STEM with some exercise inside the range. These kind of conferences are typically co-sponsored by IBM. They are that's a way for us to be known as a center of excellence for research there. We want to have seminars, invite faculties from across the world to give talk inside this place. We want to run hackathons. We want to capture the flag. We want to run regular events that are going to attract either youth, so high schoolers that are going to be exposed to this kind of technology, this kind of interaction with companies, with the excitement that goes around that. We already have a youth outreach program at the University of Ottawa, which is already one of the best in the country, we believe. And so this is just going to make it much stronger. We are talking about building collaboration with other institutions to facilitate the use of the range for those who don't have one, because we need to train more people, and that's not only our students. So other universities can also benefit from that. And of course, this is going to be a way for us to reach out to underrepresented profiles, because it's a different spin on the model, and this is an easier way for people to understand that there is more than one way to do cybersecurity. So that's a little bit of our grand vision for the range here.
I suggest we skip one slide. I mean, we have one slide for the governance and partnership. I was looking at the clock, and it's 46 after.
Okay. Yes.
And what I want to say is that it takes a lot of people to do this. It's not just me and Guy. We have an entire team and multiple layers of people, from executive sponsors to people that are in the range, delivery people that will be able to support this. But I think it's worth to spend a little bit of time on this as a
that's right. Yes.
Session.
So we were sort of thinking about what are the key points. But we're not saying that this is what you need to build your own relationship between academia and industry, but that is what it took us for that particular venture. And the first point is patience. It was a long journey. So it's not going to happen in a year or two. At least for us, it didn't. So patience is a key point here. A trust, a good relationship is obviously very important. So it's sort of difficult, right? You have academy on one side, you have industry on the other side, and we don't trust one another. But we needed to overcome that. So we have built a relationship, at our level. We have been building on that relationship for a long time, but for this a lot more ambitious venture to be successful, trust has to be built at every level. It's not just us. We would not be able to pull this off, basically. And so working on this trust relationship, understanding having some, without being completely naive, having some faith that we are in it together it was important for us. And one of the key for that is to think in terms of mutual benefits. Obviously, we know why we want that, but I think it's important for us at the university to understand why IBM wants it, and to try to acknowledge their needs and try to accommodate their needs. And obviously the other way around. So they know why they are in it for, they know what they are looking for from it. But thanks to VIO, they also understand why we want that. And we feel that, this is taken into account in their journey. So we are trying, of course, we are not going to walk away from our needs, but we're trying to accommodate the partners' need as we move along. So I think the 3 points are things that you control and that you need, or that we needed. It's important to see now. This is quite complicated because now we have this common space that we co-run. We are co-director of that thing. There are costs associated to everything. There's access, so we have to understand. And of course, you are not going to anticipate everything. We see that as we move along. There are a lot of things that we don't think about. So we are trying to clarify this thing as fast as we can. And we are also trying to keep our separate paths as clearly separated as possible so that we can also move our own agenda without hurting one another. And last but not least, unfortunately, as usual in this kind of thing, the most important things that you need is luck. You need to have stars that align. All of that worked only because IBM wanted to do something and the university wanted to do something and someone met someone else and they talked, and all of this is super important and would not have been possible without a little bit of luck, really, in the mix. So yes, that's I guess some of the 5 takeaway that we could think about when we were chatting about this. And so that concludes our presentation, I guess. I don't know if there are questions.
Well, Vio and Guy, thank you very much for the presentation. This is Bob Wiseman, the moderator. I have some quick questions, and then what happens is I'll just, there were some queries. Are the certifications recognized by NSA or the Canadian Center for Cybersecurity? Or is there a recognition process? I know NSA has one.
So the certification that we are trying to get here are professional certification. So they are it's important. They are not provided by us. So it's what we do is we include a training for one of these popular certification. So they would typically be recognized by by everyone, really. But they are not provided by us. It's we are trying, because we are already providing credits. So we don't need to provide a certificate on top of our own course. That's why we are linking to this other external type of certification.
I wasn't saying you needed an extra certification. It was just, are they recognized? The certifications recognized. I don't know if I'm getting across by that. Ovi, maybe, do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, so I think the Fortinet one could be, I mean, I don't know if they are recognized at that level, but what I can tell you, the ones that, Guy mentioned at one point that we are working for certifications, like a joint certification, that's not in place yet, but we do recognize that we need to bring partners into that so that once we do that certification or micro-credential or whatever we call it, that it's going to be recognized, so that if a student adds that to their curriculum, they have a chance to be hired by.
Yeah, especially government. I've got another question for you. Um, the fact that IBM's not a cloud provider, it doesn't make any difference, does it, with respect to the cyber? You're sort of a third-party neutral.
Well, we are a cloud provider, but we
Okay.
also work with you know, we have actually cloud is one thing that we do, data and AI being the other one, security being the other one. So yeah, I don't think that is a problem.
Okay, good. And the next question I have is just a terminology. There's a bit of confusion with respect to cyber hub and cyber range. Does it really make that much of a difference?
So, well, technically it does. The cyber range is what we were showing this room, this technology, you know, going through this, that the cyber hub is a university umbrella under which anyone who is working in cybersecurity, trying to address problems in cybersecurity, you know, is welcome. That's the cyber hub. So you can be in the cyber hub and have nothing to do whatsoever with the cyber range.
Okay, got it. Okay. And the last question was, right now with respect to professionals, Secretary Clinton sent Alec Ross, who was one of her advisors, you know, basically around the world. And one of the messages he came back with, he was expecting to have a 90% shortfall in terms of cybersecurity individuals by the year 2021. I assume that's hit. And I just want to see whether it's still a good statistic to use.
I think it's a good statistic to use. There are different numbers that go in industry depending on who you're talking with. The bottom line is there is a huge shortage of skills in this area.
Well, one way we put it is that this is a never-ending cake. So we are in a situation with cyber, which is such that we are not competing with other university. You know, if you take this one and there is less for me, it's not true. There is just an infinite supply at this point of demand. Now, of course, it's a metaphor, but we are in no way providing what is asked of us. So we can, you know, we can really easily collaborate. It's sort of great in that.
We're hoping to get women involved in a massive way, so we don't lose out on 50% of the workforce
it would
in the cyber area.
If we can.
For them. Well, listen, thank you ever so much for the presentation. It was very interesting. And I'll see you chaps at University of Ottawa. That's it's a really interesting project you're working on. Okay, absolutely. Well, thank you very much. And
thank you for having us.
Oh, super. It was a pleasure. And for all the viewers, we're going to take a break and we're going to reconvene at 12:30 for the next set of streams.